The next trend we're going to look at is called electron affinity. Electron affinity is the ability of an atom to attract an electron from another atom. And as you move from left to right across the periodic table, the ability for an atom to attract an electron increases. So something like chlorine would be able to attract an electron easier than something like sodium. Then when we look from top to bottom on the periodic table, it's going to decrease as you go down. So the the elements closer to the bottom of the periodic table do not attract an electron as easily as the elements towards the top of the periodic table. So then, why does the electron affinity increase as you move across a period? Well, because as you move across the period, the amount of protons in the nucleus increases. And because the amount of protons are increasing, that's going to give us an increase in the positive charge in the nucleus. And when you have more positive charge, those electrons are going to be more attracted to our atom. And even the electrons from another atom are going to be more attracted to that atom because there's more positive charge in the middle. And then the smaller atoms then are also going to be able to attract electrons easier because the electrons from another atom can get in closer to the nucleus, and electrons like to be nice and close to the nucleus. So electrons like to go to small atoms because then they can be nice, cozy, comfy, right in with that nucleus. So the electron affinity is going to increase as you go across the period because we know that as you go across the period, the size of the atom decreases, it gets smaller. And then we have more and more positive charge in there, so those electrons want to go right to those types of atoms. Then when you move down a group on the periodic table, the electron affinity is going to decrease because we know that those electrons are not as close to the nucleus. So within that atom, the electrons aren't as close, and there's not that much attraction between the nucleus and those outer electrons because there's so much distance between them, and there's so many electrons between the outer electrons and the nucleus, so there's a lot of electrons in between there. So those outer electrons really aren't attracted to it. And so if you're trying to attract electrons that are even further out there, it's going to be really difficult. So because they're going to be far away from the nucleus. And so electrons are going to be like, I really don't want to go by that particular atom because I'd be really far away from the nucleus. So large atoms, electrons are far away, and they're just not going to be attracted to that type of nucleus and that type of atom. So those are the trends for electron affinity.